Void. Void is one of the most important and mysterious members of the God Hand. Long ago, he was human, but he became a demon and now acts as the sovereign of demonkind. Void has a terrifying appearance. His head is bald, his brain is exposed, and his body is mostly made of a long spine and two enormous arms. He is wise, calm, and speaks in an old-fashioned, formal way, which makes him seem even more frightening. Void is deeply connected to the idea of fate and causality. He believes that everything happens for a reason, and that destiny cannot be avoided. His main role in the God Hand is to manipulate events and guide sacrifices, making sure that the flow of fate goes exactly as it should. During events like the eclipse, Void takes charge by performing the invocation of doom, which marks people with the brand of sacrifice, condemning them to a life of endless torment from monsters. Void is not just powerful but also polite and composed, even when facing unexpected events. For example, when the Skull Knight, a powerful enemy, attacks him, Void uses his ability to bend space to protect himself. He can open portals to redirect attacks, showing his mastery over reality itself. One of Void's most important moments happens during Griffith's transformation into Femto. Void plays a key role in convincing Griffith to sacrifice his allies to achieve his ultimate dream. This act cements Void's position as the group's leader and highlights his deep connection to causality and fate. Void represents control and inevitability. His calm demeanor, immense power, and philosophical understanding of the universe make him one of the most chilling figures in Berserk. He embodies the idea that fate cannot be escaped, no matter how hard one tries. Slan, also known as the Goddess of Flame and the Whore Princess of the Uterine Sea, is one of the 5 members of the God Hand. She is the only female in the group and has a mysterious and seductive presence. Her appearance is otherworldly, with a body often adorned by tentacle-like appendages, symbolizing her connection to chaos and desire. Slan is bold, provocative, and fascinated by human emotions like pain, love, and hate. She finds beauty in the chaos of life and death and is drawn to intense emotions, which she sees as the essence of humanity. Slan often seeks to provoke and manipulate others, especially Guts, the Black Swordsman. She enjoys watching his struggles and admires his resilience, trying to tempt him into becoming a demon like her. She influences the mortal world through a cult that worships her as the Goddess of Flame. This cult holds bizarre and dark rituals in her honor, although they are unaware of her true identity as a member of the God Hand. During the incarnation ceremony, Slan manifests again to witness and influence the events surrounding Griffith's return to the physical world. She also confronts Guts in the Qliphoth, manifesting her body from the intestines of trolls. In this encounter, she overpowers Guts, taunts him, and tries to tempt him into using the magical Beherit to embrace his dark side. The confrontation ends with Guts wounding her, though she enjoys the pain and vanishes with a twisted sense of satisfaction. Like the other God Hand members, Slan has immense power. She can manifest her body using the surrounding environment, such as spirits or troll remains. Even in these incomplete forms, she is far stronger than humans and apostles, capable of tearing through armor and overpowering Guts with ease. Slan also has knowledge of causality, allowing her to see and influence the flow of destiny to serve the God Hand's goals. Ubik. Ubik is a small, floating figure with a grinning face and glasses fused into his skin. Long fin-like tendrils dangle below him, and his hands are usually clasped together. Although he looks harmless compared to the others, Ubik's true power lies in his ability to manipulate people's emotions and thoughts, making him a master of persuasion and deceit. Ubik is the God Hand's talker and manipulator. His role is to convince individuals to make sacrifices, usually someone or something precious to them, in exchange for power or fulfilling their desires. While he doesn't outright lie, he twists the truth and uses people's fears, regrets, and ambitions to push them toward decisions they might not otherwise make. Ubik's words are carefully chosen to make people believe they have no other choice but to follow his guidance. Ubik's powers allow him to dive into a person's mind and manipulate their deepest feelings. He can create visions, bringing up past memories or fears to influence his target's emotions. For example, when Griffith meets the God Hand during the eclipse, Ubik shows him a vision of his past, forcing him to confront who he really is and why he would sacrifice his comrades for his dream. Ubik can also change his size, appearing as either small or enormous, depending on the situation. He uses his ability to create puppet-like forms of other people or objects to deceive and manipulate. This ability makes him highly dangerous, as he can twist reality to fit his schemes. In the Black Swordsman arc, Ubik appears when the Count summons the God Hand after being fatally injured by Guts. Here, Ubik uses his powers to show Darija, the Count's daughter, the horrifying truth about her father's dark actions, manipulating her emotions. Conrad, While Conrad doesn't speak much or show a lot of personality, he plays a significant role in spreading chaos and destruction. He has a creepy appearance, with a puckered human face and a body shaped like a massive wood louse. His expression rarely changes, and his hands are often clasped together, adding to his eerie and mysterious aura. Conrad watches events unfold in silence, occasionally responding to Ubik or other members. Even though he doesn't speak much, his actions speak volumes. Conrad's main role is spreading disease and pestilence in the human world, causing despair and suffering. He serves as a reminder of how the God Hand bring destruction in different ways. Conrad uses rats as his medium to spread plagues and sickness. For example, during the events leading to the incarnation ceremony, Conrad appears by manifesting through a swarm of diseased rats, creating an epidemic that drives people to Albion. This chaos sets the stage for the God Hand's plans, showing how he works subtly yet devastatingly. Another example of his power is during the eclipse, where Conrad uses his abilities to help shape the massive hand that lifts Griffith skyward, symbolizing his transformation into Femto. Like the rest of the God Hand, Conrad has an awareness of causality, meaning he can see how events are connected and influence the flow of fate. While he cannot predict everything, his powers make him a critical player in ensuring the God Hand's plans succeed. Conrad first appears alongside the other God Hand during the eclipse, where they manipulate Griffith into sacrificing his comrades to achieve his dream. His quiet presence adds to the menacing and surreal atmosphere of the scene. Later, in the Conviction arc, Conrad's role becomes more active when he spreads a deadly plague through rats to direct refugees to Albion, setting up the incarnation ceremony that allows Griffith to return to the physical world. Griffith is one of the most important and complicated characters in the Berserk story, known as the White Falcon. Griffith was once the brilliant and charismatic leader of the Band of the Falcon, a group of mercenaries who helped end a long war in the Kingdom of Midland. People admired him for his beauty, intelligence, and leadership, and he dreamed of building his own kingdom. However, Griffith's ambition led him down a dark and dangerous path that changed him forever. Griffith grew up in poverty, but he always dreamed of achieving something greater. As a child, he would stare at a castle and imagine one day becoming a king. His charm and determination attracted many loyal followers to his side, including Guts and Casca. Despite his humble beginnings, Griffith rose to prominence as a military leader, earning titles and respect for his victories. Griffith was always willing to do whatever it took to achieve his goals. He even sold his body to a nobleman to secure funding for his band. While he cared for his comrades, he often saw them as tools to help him fulfill his dream. Everything changed when Griffith made a terrible choice. After Guts left the Band of the Falcon, Griffith felt lost and made a reckless decision to seduce Princess Charlotte. This led to his imprisonment and a year of brutal torture, leaving him broken in body and spirit. When his band rescued him, he realized he could no longer pursue his dream as he was. Then came the eclipse, a horrifying event where Griffith was given a chance to sacrifice his comrades in exchange for becoming a powerful demon called Femto, a member of the God Hand. Consumed by his ambition, Griffith agreed, and his friends were slaughtered by monsters. He transformed into Femto, gaining incredible powers but losing his humanity. As Femto, Griffith became cold and emotionless, focused only on achieving his dream. Later, he returned to the human world in a new body, regaining his physical form and building a new Band of the Falcon, which included both humans and monsters. Griffith became a hero to many, defeating enemies like the Kushan Empire and creating a utopian city called Falconia. However, his actions often brought suffering and tragedy to those around him, especially his former friends Guts and Casca. Idea of evil. The idea of evil is a powerful entity in Berserk, existing deep in a place called the Abyss. It represents humanity's collective feelings and desires for meaning in life, suffering, and death. It came into existence because humans wanted answers to the pain and sadness in their lives, why they suffer, why they die, and why their lives feel unfair. This need for a deeper purpose gave birth to the idea of evil. The idea of evil controls something called causality, which is like a giant web of fate connecting everything. It uses this power to shape humanity's destiny according to the unconscious will of all people. It creates reasons for the things people don't understand, whether they bring joy or suffering. During Griffith's transformation into the demon Femto, Griffith meets the idea of evil in the Abyss. The entity reveals that it shaped Griffith's life, creating the events and circumstances that brought him to this moment. It explains that Griffith's deepest desires are tied to the collective unconscious of humanity, and whatever Griffith does, whether it causes pain or salvation, is what humanity, on some level, has asked for. The idea of evil appears as a massive, fleshy heart-like being with many eyes. It represents not just a god, but one created by human thoughts and feelings. Its existence suggests that humanity's pain and desires have shaped even the gods themselves. Though rarely mentioned, it influences everything in the world of Berserk.